I wrote this Spark streaming application that retrieves search the tweets from Twitter, then save the tweets to the Hive database table. Spark streaming is an excellent ETL tool to build the ETL pipeline. And the name of the file, name of the code is Twitter_to_hive.scala. It is in my GitHub site. So at the beginning, always my package is com.gentechcode.spark. That's a reverse fully qualified domain name. And starting with import necessary the Spark library. And you notice also need to import org.apache.spark.streaming.twitter._. So that particular library, you need to build a jar file. That jar file doesn't come with a Spark jar folder. So meaning is you have to build it. And I have the sbt.build.sbt, and I will show you how to build that jar file. So therefore you can import that Twitter library. That Twitter library comes with a Twitter util. So that actually is the Twitter API allowing you to log into the Twitter programmatically and to retrieve the tweets, the public tweets. And additionally, I also import the standard Java library, java.text.symbol date format, java.util.calendar date. And currently, in this example, I listen to a stream of the tweets only contains the happy and money case insensitive, and you can change it to whatever keyword you want to. You want to limit to the tweets you want to receive. And so after the main functions, main method, I always set the log level to error. So therefore, to suppress any error that is less than any logs that's less than error, and then define the Spark config, and the name of the app for this example is gets tweets, and also allocates the 3 CPU thread, really the thread, not really the core. But the thing is, Spark will consider that as a 3 CPU core. So that's parallelism you defined. And then I define the Spark sessions. And in the Spark sessions, I specifically specify it will connecting to the config will be hive.metas.uris. And then I have a Hive thrift server and running on this server, and listening to the port is 9083. And also enable Hive support. And so therefore, I will be able to run SQL commands set against the Hive database. And after that, after the Spark session has been created, and then I also need to import the Spark.implicits, which is the dynamic methods I will be using down the line. And first thing is I need to create a table if the table is not existing. So create table if not exists. What table need to be created is a tweets. So if the table is already exists, so this create table will be ignored. So create table, so the table tweets contains actually 2 columns. One is a datetime and the other one is a text. Both are actually string. And then the create statement is using Hive. So that means that create statement is applied against the Hive database. Which Hive database is the Hive database that listening to on this server and listening to this port. And then I need to create a Spark context. So the SC equal to Spark.Spark context. So the Spark is already defined as Spark sessions. And then after SC Spark context has been created, then I need to create a Spark streaming context called SSC equal to new streaming context, and then using the Spark context. and the interval is 1 second. And followed by, I need to provide in order to connecting to Twitter. That means I need to supply the credential of the Twitter. So Twitter provide the developer in order to invoke the developer the API provided by Twitter. You must supply consumer key, consumer secret, access token, access secret. So when you look into these consumer key, consumer secret, access token, access secret, these are no longer valid. It's only for demonstration purpose. So do not waste your time to run with these keys. So meaning is you have to create your own keys. So how to create the consumer key, consumer secret, access token, access secret, I will show you how later. Next line, after you have provided the Twitter credentials, then you connect to Twitter and get the tweets object by executing this line. You define a tweets objects variables equal to Twitter utils.create stream, and with this Spark streaming context SSC, and it return you the tweets objects. As that tweets object gets actually a tweet. So now what is this Twitter utils? The Twitter utils coming from this import. So import org.apache.spark.streaming.twitter._ means everything. So now this one is coming from a specialized jar file, external jar file, which is not included from the Spark jar file library. So you have to build it, and then I will show you how to build this jar files as needed in order for you to import here, and therefore in order for you to invoke by calling the Twitter utils. So now once you get the tweets objects, then all I'm interested really in is the text attributes of the tweets. So now the next one is tweets underscore collections. So that is another DS stream equal to tweets.map. Then each member of each tweets is going to only interesting is the tweets text. So and then it returns to the tweets collections DS stream. So now from that I further filter out with my search condition, because I only want to have the tweets that either contains a happy or contains money, case insensitive. Okay, because the two lowercase and compare with the lowercase. So that means whatever case, as long as that contains a happy or contains money, and these tweets is going to be collected and sent to another DS stream. It's called focus underscore tweets underscore collections. So now I'm going to iterate through the DS stream for each RDD. So the DS stream contains the elements of the DS stream is the RDD. And the element of the RDD is each tweets line. So now is a focus tweets collection dot for each RDD, and then this is the functions, the RDD, and then I want to I only want to process the RDD which is not empty. So as long as this condition is met, and then I will create a data frame from this RDD, so RDD.toDF, and then that data frame has really only one column. I named the column called new tweet. And then I just show the data frame, display on the screen. False, that means without truncating, display the entire tweets line in its entirety. And then from that point, from data frame, I can create a view, a temporary view called new tweets. So that's a view which I can run SQL against this view. And the next thing is I'm going to run the Spark SQL insert into tweets. So what is this? This is a Hive table tweets. Then select from Unix time, which is the Hive functions. This will return you a string of a current datetime stamp. And then followed by the column. Really the star is really one column. That column is new tweet. And so save these two columns into the Hive table tweets. So once this is done, and then I save the Spark streaming context and save the checkpoint to this directory. So now, if you intend to run this program, run this code on the non-Windows machines, you need to change to proper path. So if it's on the Linux, so that will fail. So this one is only for running on the Windows 10. And then start the streaming and wait until cancellation. Now I try to run it. So this is my Eclipse IDE. So I already have this code inside. And so I click the run configurations, and I specify the name of this code is search keyword. The name of this object is a search keyword tweets. And the main class is a fully qualified domain name is com.gentechcode.spark.search keyword tweets. And then I just click the run. So it connects to the Thrift, the Hive, and starting retrieving the status stream. So you see this is a tweet has been retrieved, and this is saved to the Hive. And each of these will be saved to the Hive, and this is showing the data frame earlier. And this is a save to the Hive. So now let me stop it. Okay. So this is a non-stop. So when you retrieve tweets into a Hive table, you need to watch for the space, because this is, if you don't stop it, it will continue to retrieve the tweets and save to the database table. In this case, in my case, is a Hive table. So now let's go to my Hive. Okay. So the Hive is running on a separate Linux machine, and that Linux machine is a Ubuntu 16.4. And on that Ubuntu 16.4, I have Hadoop, and I have Hive, and I have Spark. It's already running. You have a master node and a worker node, and I have a Hive. Run jar is Hive. So now the Hive service is running. So I go to the Hive. And then I can show what tables. In this cases, I should have a tweets table. So you see there's a tweets table. Okay, so this tweets table, what this tweets table contains? This tweets table really let me see. Tweets, describe tweets. Okay, so that tweets table has two columns, the datetime column and the text column. Both of them is stream. Okay, the text column, the datetime column is the date and time when the tweet is collected. The text is actually the tweets that have been saved through this code. Okay, so the code here is insert into tweets, select from Unix time, which is a daytime, so fill up this column, and the new tweets is fill up this text column. Fill up this let me just. The Unix timestamp is fill up the daytime column, and the star, really the new tweet, is fill up this text column. So now let's do a select from tweets. Let me see. Limit 5. Okay, you see, these are the daytime, and these are the tweets just collected. To make this code work, you first and foremost, you need to have your own Twitter credential, which is consumer key, consumer secret, access token, access secret. So how to get that? You need to go to the Twitter developer website, developer.twitter.com. And from there, you can, if you don't have a Twitter account, you just click in the sign in and register to create the Twitter accounts. And once you have the Twitter accounts, you log into Twitter. So you log into Twitter, and then from here, you go to the developer.twitter.com, it will show you logging, you have the company name here. So from the drop-down list, you click the apps. And then it will allow you to create an app. You need to fill up all the information that is required. So for the required field, you must enter. And also it requires a URL. So if you don't have a URL, you can simply put the www.yourname.com. And that URL doesn't have to be working, but it needs a URL because it's a required field. So I just put my URL, www.erp.computing.com. And I leave all the optional field empty. And the last required field is tell us how this app will be used. So it requires at least 100 characters. So you need to put a couple sentences there. So for streaming test with Spark, coding in Scala and Python to be saved to a database table to generate a report for marketing purpose. So once you fill up all the required field and meets all the specification of the required field, then you click in create. And the next screen is it tells you the policy and you have to agree. And then after you agree, you click in create. Okay, so it tells you your application has been created. So now, once you create an application, the next one is, you notice your application is called Tek Spark, and then clicking the keys and token, which will show you how to get your consumer key, how to get the access key. So you already have a consumer key. Okay, so you need to generate the access key, so you can click in create. So now you have the consumer key, consumer secret, access token, and the access token secret. Okay, so for that you can copy and paste. I recommend you copy and paste into a file locally on your computer system and keep it safe. And you need these 4 lines right here. Okay, you need these 4 lines right here, character by character. You cannot copy extra space, will causing this login to Twitter to fail. Okay, so now you have these. Okay, so these 4, by the way, I will delete this app after I show here. So these 4 lines credentials will no longer be valid the moment you see it. For this piece of the Scala code to work, you need to be able to import org.apache.spark.streaming.twitter_, and that coming from a jar file, which is not part of the standard Spark distributions, which means you need to build it. And then so in order to build it, you need to have, in my cases, I'm using SBT. So in order to using the SBT to build the jar file, then you need to have a build.sbt, which I already created the build.sbt files also in the GitHub, and that SBT works. And specifically for my version of the Scala is a 2.12.10. And then one important part is I need to include this library dependency for the Twitter, the Spark-streaming-Twitter and 2.40. Where do I get this? There is a mavenrepository.com. Inside, it tells you for the Scala version of 2.12, you need to include this line inside the build.sbt. And it also has a dependency you need to include. The dependency is you need to also include the Twitter4j. And I also have the Twitter4j to be specified as a dependency. And lastly is you also need to have, if you do not have a SBT utility, you need to download from the SBT utility from the scala-sbt.org for the different version of your operating system. And I will produce a separate video on how to using the SBT and how to effectively and correctly to build the necessary jar file that is needed for your Scala code. So in order to create a jar file to be able to import the Twitter library in the Scala code, I need to build the jar file. So I create the directories that already have the build.sbt. And that build.sbt is I already showed you earlier that is inside my GitHub site. And inside this directory folder is quite simple. I just type tree-x. So it has the build.sbt and has subfolder called project. Inside the project, it has assembly.sbt and the build.properties. And also, if you have a source code, you can include it in the source src subfolder underscore. Inside you have a main, inside your Scala, and inside that Scala subfolder, you can include any of your Scala source code. But in this cases, I don't need to have any source code. I only need to pull the necessary files by using the SBT. So from the Maven repository. So now, inside this build.sbt I already showed, and that's the same files that is included in the GitHub site I already showed earlier. So now go to the project subfolder. There are two files inside. The first file is assembly.sbt. So assembly.sbt is really the sbt-assembly, and that's the version. So that's actually you can get from the GitHub. And the second one is a build.properties. And you need to specify your SBT versions. In this case, my SBT version is 1.3.6. 1.3.6. Okay, so now let's build. Build is very simple. Once you have a build.sbt, all you need to say is sbt space assembly. Okay, done. So now let's go inside. So after you run the SBT assembly, you'll notice it creates a new folder. It's called target. So let's go to target. And then it has a subfolder called Scala-2.12 and also the streams. But what I'm going after is this Scala-2.12. Right here, you have a jar file. So this is a jar file needed. You need to be included in your in my cases the Eclipse IDE in the external jar, and I will have a separate video shows how to use the Eclipse IDE for Scala, so including how to specify the external jars that's needed for your code. So for now, that will be it. So final note is after I built the jar file, the Tek Spark streaming from Twitter /, assembly-1.jar, I just copy this file and put into the external jar inside my Eclipse. And how to do that, I will have a separate video. So and then once you do that, you click the apply and close. And then once you're done, then your code will be able to import the Twitter library and not make a run again. So now you have a valid Twitter credentials, and you'll be able to import the Twitter library. Will be able to connect to Twitter and then retrieve the tweets. Right here, the tweets has been retrieved, and in this case, saved to a Hive table. So that's it. Thank you for watching. Bye.